with the Mike in the B gap, with the Sam coming under to the A gap. So you could run the same blitz with different tracks or paths. So you had three different ways you could run the blitz from that side. Okay? You could do the same thing from the other side because it was balanced. And you had all the same players, so you could run America's blitz. Now you could do it with the other guys doing it, or you could just flip the front from the field to the boundary so that the same guys blitzed and the same guys dropped all the time. That's up to you. But if we left it the same way, and these were the weak side people, we could bring the same blitz from the other side, spin down the weak safety, spin the free safety to the middle, and now we got America's zone pressure coming from both sides. 3-4 is balanced that way. All right? Now you've got adjacent blitzers, inside-outside adjacent blitzers coming. Okay? All right? Which is one of the best 3-4 pressures when you have adjacent linebackers doing it, the inside and the outside linebacker doing it. All right? So you had America from the field or the strength, America from the boundary or the weak side. You could change the tracks of these blitzes so you had multiple blitzes. The other great thing out of the 3-4 was always the interior cross blitzes or the interior blitzes, which were set up beautifully to be trap or too deep. So then you would get, and I know the Steelers used to do it all the time, and the Steelers would use Troy Polamalu as their adjuster, so he would be the guy that adjusted a lot of the coverages, and they used him in blitzes a lot too, but he would be the guy that adjusted a lot of the coverages and got them in all the right fits. All right, but the 3-4 is also built beautifully for inside dogs, all right, inside adjacent pressures, where now I'm going to bring the Mike and the Will inside. Okay, now I could two-gap that nose all the way out to the B gap, and I could bring them in the A gaps. I could do this however I wanted. I could bring the Mike first here, bring the Will off of that into the B gap there, but you had inside backers blitzing. Steelers used to make a living out of it with Dick LeBeau, all right, who was a huge fire zone guy, great football coach. And then all they would do is they would play trap, cover 2 trap behind it. So this would become 4 under, 2 deep. So now they weren't always spinning to 3 under, 3 deep, so that the other team can draw up their 3 under, 3 deep beaters. All right, and now essentially what they've got is they've got trap corners sitting up in the flat. They've got hook to curl defenders underneath the 2 verts. All right, and then they've got half players. They've got half players, all right, dropping to the half. So now they've got inside pressure from the Mike and the Will, inside adjacent pressure, 2 adjacent linebackers next to each other, inside pressure, and you can dial that pressure up 6 different ways as well. Okay, so the 3-4, if you play it as a 1-gap scheme and you slant angle, all right, you've got your slant stuff to the strength with split field coverage, quarter, half, angle back the other way, and play 3 deep behind it, angle 3 swap. Get into your zone pressures and bring America from both sides, change the pass of America, adjacent blitzes with inside-outside backers, and then adjacent blitzes with the 2 inside backers. The only thing we didn't cover today in the Okie defense is playing it 2-gap, all right, where your defensive lineman would 2-gap it, and the easiest way to do that would be have your defensive lineman play behind the head of the blocks that they're seeing, but then your linebackers behind it, their fits change constantly. Maybe not something you want to do in high school. Probably the most productive way the higher level teams play 3-4 stuff is with head-up techniques that are 2-gap, so they don't always have to move every play, because when you move, you can move into plays, and you can certainly move out of them. So a lot of guys don't like teaching movements as a base defense. So they like to teach a base defense first. You teach 2-gap out of the Okie stuff, and now you've got your 3-way go or your 3-headed monster. You've got it base 2-gap, you've got it slanting one way, angling one way, and then you add in zone pressures. You got a great package. I've always loved the 3-4. I think the 3-4 to me is a little bit more difficult to coach. That's why we got away from it and went 4-2-5. I think it's more difficult to move the ball on as an offensive coach myself. The mystery of where the 4th rusher is coming from. Are they moving? Are they 2-gapping? Where are my doubles and combinations going to be? I'd much rather see an even front. Okay, as an offensive guy, I'd rather see an even front. But as a defensive guy, I think sometimes the even front is easier to teach. So sometimes I fall victim, all right, to my own, my own strengths and weaknesses. I like running things against the even front on offense, but from a defensive standpoint, I also like coaching the even defense because I think it's easier for my kids to play. But I definitely think odd is a great structure. 3-4 is a great defense. It's been around forever. It's going to be around forever. Still a bunch of great teams playing it. And I just think that you need to be a better coaching staff and be on the same page with what your adjustments are and how you set your front to different things. I think divorced front 4-2-5 over defense is just simpler in general, in my opinion. Okay? All things considered, remember, you still got to teach techniques and fundamentals. All right? But I always talk to people about, at some point you have to have a scheme to teach techniques and fundamentals, because how you play your scheme might change the technique and the fundamental you're playing. All right, so you can't tell me to play, if I am going to two-gap something and play behind the head of blocks, you can't tell me to work on that technique first and teach that technique and then tell me that the scheme is shaded defense and to play gap responsibility in that shade. To me, that's counterproductive. So yes, techniques and fundamentals are the utmost importance, and you can draw schemes up all you want to. Without techniques and fundamentals, you're never going to win a football game. I agree. But the techniques and the fundamentals change based on the scheme. So to me, your coordinator or your boss better tell you to scheme first, then tell you the techniques and fundamentals you need to play that scheme. Okay? As always, guys, there's a million different ways to do it. This is my opinion on a 3-4 defense that somebody asked me to do a video shoot on. All right? But the one thing that I do know is none of this will work. And none of this will be effective if your kids don't understand how to play it and play it fast. So keep it simple. Let them play fast. As always, guys, I'll see you next time.